Last Call and the season finale of Last Call. It's absolutely blazed by here on UINDY TV on YouTube and Xfinity Channel 1096. You should know by now, but my name Caden Colford, and next to me, Jake Helton. And how about the award-winning Caden Colford and Jake Helton at that best on-screen duo voted here on UINDY TV. You know what? That's why we earn the big bucks over here in the UINDY TV studios, that's for sure. But outside of us, the people who make us look good, how about UINDY Athletics? Women's golf winning the conference this past weekend. Big win for them. And as we look at how they did it, well, Macy Brown finished it 2 birdies and a par to get the final point for UINDY. Jake, you and I both know how tough that is, but how about Caroline Whalen, Ava Ray, both all GLVC, all conference players at that. And Whalen was first place in stroke play, shooting at .220 on the meets. Jake, golf might be the hardest sport to play at a competitive level, and to win the conference, nice.
Yeah, no, I mean, we know this team can get it done. We were in Florida with them, or rather, they were in Florida with us, I guess. Yeah. Winning a national championship last year. So this team really knows how to play, getting off their postseason to a great start, winning the GLVC tournament. On the flip side of that, the men's team, they came in second to Missouri S&T, a very talented squad, but they'll be looking to keep pushing forward. But this women's team, they're showing a lot of promise.
And if you were on campus this weekend, you probably saw the buzz around Senior Day for women's lacrosse. They get a 20-8 win over Missouri Western on their Senior Day, honoring Caroline Crouch, the lone senior on that squad, who did find herself on the scoreboard. Big win for women's lax, and heading into the postseason, top 10 ranked nationally. This is a team that has high standards and high sights to finish the season strong.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a couple years since they did make it to that national championship game. I believe it, 3 years ago now? Yep. So obviously trying to work back to that. This has been a phenomenal season for them from what I've heard, and it's looking like it's going to be a pretty solid postseason as well.
And you know, when you go to UINDY, finals week is essentially that turnover into the postseason, and not only in conference, but also in region and nationally as well. Baseball, well, they've had, ups and downs, a roller coaster of a season, a bunch of great storylines throughout, a bunch of great players to follow. They had a complete sweep 4-0 over William Jewell, which is huge going into conference because now you move up to that 4 or 5 spot right in the middle of the pack, giving you a solid stance to go do some damage in the conference. But you have number 14 in the country, and the Lewis Flyers, just about, 3 hours north of us towards Chicago. That is going to be a very tough 4-game series to end your regular season schedule. But Jake, this team been to carry twice in a row now. What do you expect out of that?
Well, we know they can do it. This William Jewell game for me on Saturday really puts it into perspective. They had 14 hits, only able to score 5 runs. They ended up winning on a walk-off home run from Nick Lukac. So they can get it done. They're able to come up big in clutch games, or clutch moments, I should say, and ending the season almost ending the season on a 4-0 sweep. Hopefully they can end it on an 8-0 run against Lewis. But it's a very tall task. We know baseball-wise, the GLVC, very talented, but yeah, if any team can do it, it's the Greyhounds. They proved us wrong time and time again.
Flies under the radar, for sure, and a bunch of guys on that team, bunch of boys on that team. You got the Maple Leaf Marauder and Ben Rogers. You know he's 6'8"? I didn't know that. You have Diego Cardenas, your day one starter, who's very, very solid. Austin Bodie has been amazing this season. Down the lineup, you have guy after guy after guy that can swing the bat. Easton Good, a preseason All-American, probably the best shortstop in the conference as of right now. This team is for sure going to be one to follow, and hopefully we can follow them all the way to Cary.
Yep, that would be nice. I wouldn't be mad about a nice vacation at the end of the year.
Well, that does it for UINDY Sports. We'll move to Indianapolis and the Colts, more specifically after this.
Good morning, Greyhounds, and welcome back to your Wednesday show. We have some very exciting things to talk about with our very special guest.
So what do you find unique about UINDY, and what kind of pulled you here?
What are you doing?
Watching Good Morning Greyhounds every Wednesday morning at 8 a.m.
Well, I hope you tuned in last Thursday night because we were on air for 4.5, 5 hours straight, going through the first round of the NFL draft. And the Colts, with the 14th pick in the draft, there was no funny business. They did not take more than a minute off the clock. They knew who they wanted. They got their guy, and Tyler Warren will be an Indianapolis Colt.
Yeah, this is a day one starter. He will be one of the best additions to this team out of the draft. The Colts were dead last in the NFL in tight end receptions last year, so this is a big bonus for them. He had 104 receptions, 12 touchdowns, 4 of those as a runner last year for Penn State, as well as just under 1,500 yards. This guy's a baller. He gives Anthony Richardson another weapon, and kind of what we said time and time again, he really has no excuse this year.
And for all of us that were on the broadcast, this is where it was almost a standing ovation from me, right? Because we mentioned AR, but this entire offense now, including the run game, has a lot of weight taken off of its shoulders. And not only do you have a tight end that can go catch a pass from AR, you have a tight end who can lay down a solid block for Jonathan Taylor in the backfield, have that kind of delay fade, and run the play action very, very well, which he did at Penn State. But outside of just Warren, you have 7 other guys, and JT Tuimoloau. You also have quarterback, corner, I should say, Justin Wally, Jalen Travis, DJ Giddens, Riley Leonard from Notre Dame, Tim Smith, Hunter Wohler. Are there any guys that stick out to you outside of the tight end?
Jordan Travis is one that kind of sticks out to me. He didn't give up a single sack last year, so that's a good stat. I don't know that he'll come in and be an instant starter, but he'll definitely be the backup right tackle for Braden Smith. I'm not too worried about him. And then Wally coming in, he's going to provide great depth. You got to remember the Colts, right now they got Kenny Moore, probably the best slot corner in all of the NFL.
Yeah.
So he's going to come in. If he has a strong camp, he could get some time on the field, but for the most part, I see him being a backup.
But realistically, if you take a look at the Colts, in the past couple seasons, injuries have plagued DBs on this roster for years and years and years. And I said it time and time again during the draft cast, if you can build your corner and build your safeties, just build that entire DB room, you're going to need it because it's a long season. These are some of the most active guys on the field, which also means that injuries are almost the most prevalent in that sector of the locker room. So it's good to see that bolstered. But how about the Notre Dame grad, Riley Leonard, moving to the league? Do you think he has any success in the NFL?
That's a tough question because as it sits right now, he's projected to come in and be kind of fighting for that third string spot. So I'm not exactly sure what the Colts' plan is for him. Maybe they're planning on getting rid of Sam Ehlinger. I mean, I really have no idea why. I guess you're just kind of adding to the depth of the quarterback room. This could be a thing where we see him not even make it onto the full roster at the end of the year. I do like Riley Leonard, and I think he is kind of a different version of Anthony Richardson in a way. They have a similar run first, pass later type of style, which I think he could benefit from sitting behind Anthony Richardson, but I don't really see him being all that successful in a Colts uniform.
Well, to his credit, he played his best ball down the stretch last year, had a really solid postseason, put the beat down on IU. You might remember we definitely talked about that one. And he definitely has a lot of promise in the run game, developed his arm as the season went on. His stats got better and better. Now, does that translate to the National Football League? We'll see, but for that dream to be realized for him, to get drafted, to have your name called, and have the ability to go compete for a roster spot is probably more than enough for this kid.
Yeah, and one of the most impressive stats that kind of holds true for Indiana is that 26 of the first 32 picks, or 26 of the first round, I should say, were all from the SEC or Big Ten. And I see 3 Big Ten guys off the board first for Indiana. As a fan of a team in the Big Ten and Ohio State fan, JT Tuimoloau, 3-time first team All Big Ten. I mean, this guy's a dog. And Justin Wally, playing for Minnesota, you're playing corner against some of the best receivers. You got to go up against Ohio State every 2 years, I think. Then you're playing against your Oregons, your Michigans. This is the battle tested that I love to see, and I'm glad that the Colts went this way.
Well, I feel like the Colts were definitely in win-now mode. You get that in the tight end and Warren. I think the play action is going to be deadly this year. I think the run game is going to be even better this year. And I think AR stats start to skyrocket. That is, if he does not get beat out by Daniel Jones in the preseason. I don't know, but we'll see, Jake.
Yeah, if that happens, I'll be very, very upset. And I know we're not talking Shedeur Sanders. Everyone is up in arms about that. But I've been reading a couple reports. There's a decent chance that he might work his way into the starting lineup for the Browns.
Well, you know what? He was supposed to be a top 3 pick for a long time.
He's going to get his chance to prove it. That is what we will see.
Colts looking to boost their lineup. Looks like they did, and we can't wait for Indianapolis football. But in Indianapolis basketball, well, in effect, we'll talk about here after this.
Good morning, Greyhounds, and welcome back to your Wednesday show. We have some very exciting things to talk about with our very special guest.
So what do you find unique about UINDY, and what kind of pulled you here?
What are you doing?
Watching Good Morning Greyhounds every Wednesday morning at 8 a.m.
Caden Colford, Jake Helton, and now Freddy Hawthorne joins us for NBA basketball. We'll start right here in Indy. Pacers take a 3-1 lead over Milwaukee, and it's been very dominant to this point for Tyrese Halliburton, for Pascal Siakam, for Miles Turner. Freddie, what are you liking about Indiana?
I just love how they're playing it again as a team. I mean, when you look at this series, one thing I've seen is this looks like a team playing against a bunch of individuals. This looks like a team with a lot of guys who can contribute and help playing against one guy, and that's Giannis Antetokounmpo. I feel like they did need Damian Lillard, but his return was short. We all know that he had an injury. So I just feel like these guys are playing really good team ball, and there's nothing Milwaukee can do about it right now.
Well, and for Milwaukee, a lot of that bearing weight has been on the shoulders of Giannis Antetokounmpo, as Freddie said. And, I mean, nearly every game this series, he's had 35 plus, 15 rebounds plus at times. What have the Pacers done well to limit the Bucks and propel themselves?
The Pacers have done everything that they have needed to do. Anything that we talked about leading up to the end of the season that they needed to fix, they have pretty much done exactly that. Miles Turner playing his best basketball I think we've ever seen collectively. We kind of deemed it. This 2025 playoff Miles is just built different. But you also got Pascal Siakam. He's been playing phenomenal first shot defense on Giannis, but this is where the problem is. There's no one to help him out. Giannis misses short. He just goes, grabs it, puts it right back up. It's easy too for him. You got to have a little bit of help down low, and that's something that the Pacers finally started to do in Game 4. They started to build the wall, finally did what we asked them to do, and Giannis did what he was supposed to do. Started kicking it out. The shooters weren't hitting. Bobby Portis, he had an all-right game, but he wasn't hitting the three. Gary Trent Jr. wasn't hitting it as well as he did a game ago when he hit 9 threes. So this is, as Liam said, a broken Bucks team. Our producer, not high on the Bucks right now, and neither am I. I'm not liking this coaching duo of Doc Rivers and Darvin Ham. I mean, nothing is right about this organization right now. Looking into the future, I don't see it getting better. You got to pay Giannis. You're going to have a contract that you have no salary cap to fix that contract. For the next 6 years, they're out of draft picks. Like, what is going to happen to Milwaukee when Giannis walks?
Well, I mean, you walk into the playoffs with Darvin Ham and Doc Rivers on your bench. I almost thought that was a guaranteed championship. Not really, but, well, when we look at Milwaukee, Gary Trent Jr. dropped 37 in their only win in this series. And realistically, that's just not going to happen more than once a series. And you hate to say it, and Gary Trent Jr. has really proved a lot of people wrong, really showed out, and might go earn some money here in the offseason. We'll see. But Brook Lopez has not played well. Kaya Kuzma has really stunk the bed up. And, it seems like Kevin Porter Jr. is the only one who wants to shoot the ball besides Giannis Antetokounmpo. Is there any way, with the Pacers up 3-1, that the Bucks can find any sort of production in this series, Freddie?
I mean, I don't think there is. When you look at scoring, we have 3 guys in Milwaukee. They only have 3 guys in double digits. When you look at Indiana, 8. They have 8 guys contributing to this win. And if I'm Giannis, run. I'm telling Giannis to get out of there. I'm telling Giannis to find a team because this team is going to kill your legacy, man. When you look at what he's doing this whole series, 30 points, 40 points, 35, I mean, what more can you do for this team? I mean, Damian Lillard tries to come back. He ruptures an Achilles. So, I mean, there's really not much he can do. If I'm Giannis, I'm trying to head to San Francisco and play with the chef.
But his matchup for part of this series in Miles Turner. Jake, you touched on it. Miles Turner is playing the best basketball of his career against the Milwaukee Bucks. He absolutely slammed it on Giannis last night, and man, I could watch that dunk time and time over and over. And Miles has always been one of those guys that'll go up there and try it, But for him to really throw one down on really one of the best rim protectors in the league is a huge deal. Last night for him, he had 23 points. And we look at his other stats, 4 blocks as well, 5 rebounds, a few assists. This guy's doing everything right now for Indianapolis. What do you think has changed in Miles Turner, Freddie?
I just think Miles Turner is just, when you're playing the game and you're losing and you got to, get up and kind of focus a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened with Miles Turner. I think Miles Turner heard the criticism. I think Miles Turner knew that he was needed in this series, and he stepped up. He's hit a bunch of big three-point shots, and he's played very physical. He's really showed Giannis that this isn't going to be easy, and I'm not going to just sit here and be pushed around all game.
And another thing that I do want to mention, 3 guys on the Pacers, they're plus-minus plus 20. That is absolutely insane.
That's winning basketball is what it is.
Yeah, no, that is. And winning basketball is 36 assists by the third quarter. They were in, I think, 31 by the start of the fourth quarter. They had 31 assists. That is an insane stat in itself. The Pacers have been moving the ball phenomenally. If they just throw it around the horn, it's a wide open 3 in the corner every time. The Bucks are miserable on defense, absolutely miserable. The spacing, I wouldn't say it's perfect for the Pacers, but it's perfect for this series because the Bucks players are just running into each other. They're not setting screens. They're setting screens on each other. Giannis and Bobby Portis ran into each other 3 times last night, and it led to wide open layups for Pascal Siakam. I'm not complaining, but if you're a Bucks fan, that's horrible. You got to have more, especially when you have 2 great coaches on your team. They should be able to at least give their team a chance, but as it looks right now, obviously you take that game 2 out of there. I really just don't see this Bucks team competing the next 2 games, or next game.
Guys, let's say that the Pacers do take care of business. They move Milwaukee off the floor and they bring it back for Game 5 in Indianapolis. It's looking like Cleveland is going to come out on the other end of the brackets after they annihilate Miami, and absolutely annihilate Miami. A 4-game sweep, most likely. Do you feel that there is any possibility that Tyrese Halliburton, Miles Turner, Pascal Siakam, Rick Carlisle, and the Indiana Pacers can beat the Cleveland Cavaliers? Freddie, I'll look at you first.
Yes. I'm very confident in this answer. For a long time, I haven't really felt very confident in the Cavaliers. I don't really think they're the true 1 seed. I've always said the Boston Celtics are the true 1 seed. I think they're a way better team. And I think the Pacers do have a really good chance in this series. When we look at who they have as a team, I think Tyrese Halliburton matches up pretty well against their backcourt. And I think Miles Turner and Pascal Siakam match up really well against one man in Evan Mobley. So I think this is a good chance for them to show what they can do.
Jake? Yeah, Evan Mobley is definitely going to be a tough matchup for the Pacers. The way I look at it now, if Miles Turner keeps playing the way he's playing, Tyrese Halliburton, if he averages a 15-15 double-double for the entire series, this is a team that can take down the Cavs. Another thing I do want to mention, though, they're playing the best 10 seed I think that has ever been in the tournament. I mean, this Heat team, not only with their experience they bring in, you also added Andrew Wiggins this season. It's a very solid team. You got Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo. It's nothing to cough over. And then I look at the Celtics, who have kind of been struggling with the Magic, a team we've deemed not very good. Really just the Paulo show over there. We'll hop to that real quick. I mean, it wasn't anything special. They didn't really, I mean, it's Paulo scoring 30 points, Franz will get his 20, and the Celtics win. There's really no, you've seen 32 points per game, 8.5 rebounds. Like, this guy is playing his butt off, and he has no help.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the missing piece, right, is the help for Paolo Banchero, because game in, game out, he's giving his matchup, whether it's Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, anybody, he's finding buckets. And it may not be on the most efficient shooting, but realistically, that's not going to happen when you're the only guy putting up shots aside from Franz Wagner on your team. Freddie, the Magic have potential, but Boston, like you said, still probably that real number 1 in the East.
I think that this was a good performance for Banchero. I think this was a good showing by him. But like you said, there's really not much he can do. He does need help. And what I would say is this is a great starting point for the Magic. It's good for them to get in this position, see what they have, and just compete for now. Because right now, this isn't the series to win. I think this is just a stepping stone in the right direction for Orlando.
This isn't even necessarily a team that we had thrown into the playoff conversation when we were talking about it at the beginning of the year. This is a team that everyone's pretty much written off. Paulo, he is not done. I mean, I was very impressed with his style of play last night. You think back to when he was at Duke, everyone hearing the stories, this guy loses 7 pounds of sweat a game, and you think that affects him? No. I mean, he's still bringing the ball up the court every single time in the fourth quarter. He's going hard. I've been very impressed with the progression of Paolo Banchero over the past couple of years. And I don't know that I want to see him get traded. I want to see the Magic make a trade to help him. That's what I really want to see.
I mean, you made the right move with the number 1 pick. You picked the best guy in the draft. And we're seeing this guy get better and better and better with each and every game. In the mid-range, that's where you see guys, that separates your basketball players from your hoopers, right? You can tell who's played competitively, not just in the league, but outside, on the blacktop, who's played all their lives. It's that mid-range that separates you as a shooter because that's your way to create space. You know, that opens up the drive, and it also opens up the step back. And that's why we see him so good in isolation. This guy is really good in a one-on-one scenario. But you know who else is? Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson is that guy. And the Knicks are going to take this 4th game of the series, go up 3-1 over the Pistons. Caden have been doing a very, very great job this series, and they've given the Knicks a very, very tough 4 games. However, New York finds himself up 3-1. Freddie, why do you think that is?
I just think that New York was always a better team here. When you look at Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns, I mean, these are guys who they've been in this position before. They've already played in big games like this. And when you look at Detroit, they're just trying to improve from last year, and they have. They've done a great job from, coming from not making the playoffs to being in the dance now. But like I said with Orlando, this is kind of the same case here. These guys are just going to have to just take steps in the right direction for now and just keep improving. I never saw the Pistons getting past the first round anyways, so this doesn't seem like a surprise to me. It just seems like this is what was supposed to happen.
Yeah, I just the bench production as well as kind of just everyone except for Cade has not been all that impressive for me in this series. He dropped a triple-double last night, and there was a very controversial call at the end of the game. If you haven't seen it, look it up. It was definitely a foul.
You think it was?
I think it was 100% a foul. Josh Hart, his whole body, if I was the one shooting that, I would have been crying about it too. Trust me, I did it my entire high school career. But I just don't see how that's not a foul. He's completely bodied up against him. You could see the ball was affected by Josh Hart playing defense. I just feel like, and he didn't touch the ball with his hand. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, that should have been a foul. Should have been 3 free throws. Even after the game, I feel like they should have just kind of let him walk out on the court, shoot through 3 free throws to decide that game, because that was a very unfair way to end it. It was a tough shot regardless, but you got to give him his due. That was a foul.
But at the same time, if you are foul baiting on the last shot of the game, should you really be rewarded for that?
What do you mean? Jalen Brunson does that for what, 37 minutes? What are we talking about?
Let's talk about Jalen Brunson, because Jalen Brunson gets hurt in the 3rd quarter, goes to the locker room, gets taped up. Knicks go down by 11. They come back. Jalen Brunson scores 8 straight. Knicks go take the lead and go win the game. Jalen Brunson is a hooper, and he came out injured. He was hobbling. He could barely run, but as soon as he got the ball in his hands, it was muscle memory from there. And I still consider him top 2 in the East in terms of guards.
I mean, I think that's a great thing to say. I mean, he has a 32-point double-double. I would take him top 2 in the East as well. I don't think there's a guard in the East that can guard Jalen Brunson when he's hot, when he's healthy. I mean, he wasn't healthy this game. Still at 32 and 11. Who's going to stop that?
Probably not the Pacers, but hopefully we get to see that matchup. I think that would be a great one to see. On top of that, we briefly mentioned Karl-Anthony Towns, 27 points out of him. I've just been very impressed by the way he's been playing the last month or two. He's just kind of stepped it up, in my opinion. Tibbs has asked him to take on a 40-minute-a-night role, and he's been perfectly fine with that. He's been producing just as high as he was in Minnesota, if not higher. I feel like he's almost taken a step up with this team, and pretty much what the Knicks needed to win or at least make it to the championship this year. A couple of tough tasks in front of him, but I could see it happen.
It's been a blast in the East, but the best might just be in the West. The Nuggets and the Clippers have been duking it out, 2-2 in the series right now, and it's legitimately, no matter where you're at, no matter who's playing, you have no idea who is going to take one out. Denver finds a 101-99 win in their last matchup in Game 4. Aaron Gordon catches a missed 3 from Nikola Jokic, slams it down at the buzzer. That was another controversial call that you don't think should have counted. I think it should have counted, but a very, very tough game. But I want to ask, Freddie, Jokic probably the best player in this series, but do you feel like the Clippers or the Nuggets have a better assembled team?
I think when you think of, a team aspect, I think it's the Clippers all day. I don't see anyone on that floor who has, outside of Jokic, who, brings more to a team than Kawhi Leonard. I mean, him defensively and then his scoring ability, that's going to take the Clippers a long way. Then you look at James Harden. He had 15 and 11 that game. I honestly would have wanted more points out of James Harden in that one. But, I mean, when you look at what he's doing for that team, 11 assists and you're the shooting guard, you can't ask for much more.
I mean, can we talk about the role players, Zubac and then Norman Powell combined for, 43 points or 41 points? That's very impressive in itself, and that's why the Clippers are able to compete against a guy like Nikola Jokic because of the role players doing their part. Zubac, he's in the most improved conversation. Caden and I feel that he should easily win that, but this is a Clippers team that I think they've done a very good job of building around two guys, and that's what we've seen. And I don't know that it is a championship caliber team. They're kind of just missing one really good role player like a Naz Reid or maybe a Aaron Nesmith type of guy, just a rock to have outside of James Harden and Kawhi Leonard. But this is a very solid Clippers team that you look back a couple years, or the past couple of years, they might have made some noise in some of those tournaments.
It's refreshing to see Kawhi and James Harden start to really hoop again because they get exposed to injury, and you forget how good they are at basketball, but they come back, and they are absolutely killing this series. But at 2-2, still a couple games to figure out who's going to take it home. Final series in the West that we're going to talk about, aside from the Thunder blowing over the Memphis Grizzlies, is going to be Timberwolves and the Lakers. Wolves and the Lakers have gone punch for punch. However, Wolves take a 3-1 series lead. Every game's been somewhat close to this point, but Freddie, we got to talk about Anthony Edwards and what he brings to this Timberwolves team and the challenges that he brings to the Lakers. What do you think?
If I had to just sum this all up, I would just tell LeBron James that it's about time to pass the torch. I mean, this series has shown me everything I needed to see. We had a conversation a few months ago about who the face of the NBA is. I mean, he's right here, Anthony Edwards. I mean, he's going up against LeBron James. 3-1 lead. Pretty sure he had 40 last night, so, I mean, that was crazy. So, I mean, this guy's just playing great basketball. He's one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA right now outside of Stephen Curry. And I think if he just keeps improving his game year to year, we're going to see this guy be one of the greatest.
This Lakers team is searching for answers, and credit to Anthony Edwards. 43 points out of him, pretty much a triple-double almost. He was a little short on the assist, 1 rebound away, but you look at Julius Randle, 25 points, 7 rebounds. Jaden McDaniels, 16 points, 11 rebound, double-double. I mean, just absolutely huge in that fact, but you can't do it without Anthony Edwards. So I turn to you guys. Is it time to throw him in the face of the league? We talked about it earlier, and it was sounded like a pretty good idea, but now it's looking all but sure. Freddie?
Yes. Anthony Edwards is the face of the NBA. I mean, outside of basketball, are his decisions great? Probably not. But when he's on that floor, when he's on that hardwood, you can't deny it. You can't deny what he brings to a team, and you can't deny the greatness that's, right in front of our faces. What do you say, Caden?
Well, for me, I think what Ant's doing not only for his team, but for the NBA is great. It's awesome. It's so much fun to watch. But I don't think he's the best player on the court in this series. I still think that title belongs to LeBron James. And you could look at the series record, and the Lakers are down, but Luka was sick a game, and I don't think that's an excuse, because even when he's not sick, Luka has been a liability defensively. Austin Reeves has underperformed. Rui Hachimura has been in foul trouble too much. And we look at the second half of yesterday's game, same 5 that started the first minute in the third quarter, played until the last minute in the fourth. And realistically, as a coach, JJ Redick, he couldn't do anything else. There's nobody that you can rely on down the Lakers bench to come in and really fill a role the way that the 5 were for LA last night. And even then, you're still wanting more out of guys like Rui. You're still wanting more out of someone who's not named LeBron James. Am I unfair to say that LeBron is still the best player on the floor?
I don't know that I would say it's unfair to say, and I definitely see where you're coming from, but I think the difference in this series for me doesn't come down to LeBron, doesn't come down to Luka, it comes down to Austin Reeves. Nobody has been more impactful on this team. You look back to the month before heading into the playoffs, Austin Reeves was playing his best basketball. I mean, this team was playing phenomenal ball, and right now Austin Reeves, I mean, he couldn't hit the side of a boat from the ocean. Like, this guy, only 17 points, or he had 17 points. I say only because I expect a lot more out of this guy, especially when the other two people on the court that are not named LeBron and Luka are averaging like 4 points in this entire series. It's ridiculous. Jackson Hayes, he played 4 minutes as a starter. How are you expecting to win games when your starting big guy isn't even on the court for longer than 2 minutes? That is absolutely ridiculous. This Lakers team, they have got to find a lot of answers, and they've got, 24 hours?
Well, if there's anybody that could do it, I'm not saying they are, but if there's anybody that can do it, Freddie, they call him King James for a reason.
LeBron.
He came back in 2016. He did it the biggest stage the NBA has ever seen. Does he do it against Timberwolves? I don't know. This is way too complete of a team that can go anywhere on the bench and bring out any type of role player that they need with defenders here, there, and everywhere. Is there any way the Lakers get back into it down 3-1?
I think if there's one way they can do it, it is the man we're talking about right now. It is LeBron James. Even in this game, he had 27 and 12, which isn't a terrible performance. But, I mean, if we want a 3-1 comeback, LeBron, you're just going to have to turn the clock a little bit. I need 35 and 12. You know, Luka, he can keep playing the same way. At least 35 and 12 from LeBron, though, is what they're going to need to get back into this series.
Especially if Luka's going to have a game like this. 38 points and literally nothing else. 1 rebound, 2 assists, a steal,
4 turnovers.
and a block, as well as 4 turnovers. So I think you got to get a little bit more out of Luka other than the scoring. You got to figure out a way to get him to play defense. I mean, it's pitiful. Like, you look back to 2018, 2019, James Harden, and you thought that defense was bad. They haven't met Luka Doncic yet. This guy sucks on defense. But I do think that there is a slight possibility. This Lakers team has LeBron on it.
Who
like
else?
you said, I don't think anyone other than LeBron. I was getting ready to say this isn't the Golden State Warriors team of 2016, 2017, but I don't know. They might be a little bit more complete. This team is defensively sound.
Freddie, thank you for your talk. Thank you for your analysis. Time for Primetime Pick Ems. This is where winners are made. It's been 16 weeks of picks time and time again to see who knows ball just the best. And it all comes down to this. Final records on the board after our 4 games last week.
Yeah, sell of the year. Should have changed my mind, went with the Clippers, but you know.
Well, here's the thing. I don't play for ties, and I will never play for ties. 54-36 is not a bad record, especially when talking the NBA, just because there's so much variance. You never know what can happen. It's a lot harder than football, which we also did, but I feel like football is a little more concrete. You know what I mean?
I think we were fine on football, even though I will say my record was much better in the NBA part than it was in the NFL part. But are we going to –
You know what?
Is how we're going to do it?
It's going to be rock, paper, scissors to decide the winner of the Primetime Pick 'em on Last Call. Jake, I'll let you decide 2 out of 3 or straight up?
Straight up.
The first one.
Straight up. First one.
All right. Are we going on shoot, right?
Yeah,
rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
All right,
okay.
Let's do it. You got it, boss man.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I've been knocked off the throne. Jake Helton, your
Feels
winner
good.
of the Primetime Pick 'em on Last Call with a record of 55-36 after a 1-on-1 win over none other than Caden Colford to close it out. But that's going to do it for Last Call. However, we do want to bring out a special guest, someone who's been behind the camera, someone who's been at the buttons, been at the sticks for the entire year to this point. And he kind of waves the wand and makes the magic happen. He's kind of stumbling his way up here, but you know what, Liam? Pick up a chair and throw it right in between me and Jake, right
let's
here.
hop in here.
All right.
It's an honor to be up here with you guys.
So everybody,
It's
this
an honor to
is
have
Liam Blaze. You might remember that name from when we brought the trophy onto Last Call. We showed off the bling, showed off the gold, the shine, and Liam's also a big part of why Last Call was named the favorite show for someone to work on or be on, also named Best Show Overall on UINDY TV. But Liam, as a near Chicago native, a Chicago Bears fan, Chicago Bulls fan, I'll ask you about the Bulls first. How'd you not get the play-in?
The Miami Heat. Jake said it, the best number 10 in the world, and we just lost to Tyler Hero.
Okay, and
I don't know.
the most recent form of production from the Bears being the draft. How do you feel that went?
I don't like the Colston Loveland pick. I would rather have Tyler Warren that you guys, the Colts.
Really?
Colts pick.
You'd rather have Tyler Warren?
Yeah.
See, because we were kind of thinking the other thing. I like the Colston Loveland dude. Maybe more for the Colts because he is just a better receiver. And I guess, the Colts, or the Bears really could use a couple receivers last time I checked.
Keenan Allen's old. He's balding. He has a shiny head. I don't know. I just don't like Keenan Allen.
Do we need this for the Bears right now? Do you want to, the final push,
I'm back on this.
panic button for the Bears, Caleb Williams.
What a way to
Can you
send
guys
off.
hit it for the Bears?
Oh, you want me to?
Yeah, hit it for the Bears.
Oh, yeah, everyone? All right, we'll get in.
Freddie.
R.I.P. Bears.
Freddie.
Yep, get in here, Freddie. There we go.
All right. Freddie hit the button too. So the Bears, they need to do some work, but Caleb Williams on the upswing. We wanted to bring Liam on to say thank you. Liam, as a graduating senior, has spent hours on Sunday nights and Monday mornings putting together rundowns, which you don't see on the show, but that's what makes the wheels turn. That's what makes the magic happen. So for all of us that are on camera, we wanted to bring you on and say thank you, Liam, for your dedication and for your work, for your camaraderie, collaboration. Right. You name it, you've done it, you've been there, put us through the ringer, and last call doesn't get to where it's at right now if it's not for Liam Blaze.
Thank you. I do want to shout out, Finch and Kiefer. I know you know Nathaniel. They're the ones that started the show, and I just kind of picked it off what they got, and I think we turned it into something really, really good. I've been with you on the show for 2.5 years? Yeah. Something like that. That's crazy. Jake for this past year and a half, I think. So, Freddie, thank you again for coming on this past year. I think we're really turning into something good. I'm excited for Latif to pick it up where I left off and run with it pretty much. I want to shout out Kenna. I want her to come out there with me too, but she played a big part with the graphics, everything you see behind. So, yeah, it was fun.
For last call, that's the season. What, season 5, 6?
5, 6.
We'll have that number next season for you on last call, but for Jake Helton, for Freddy Hawthorne, for Liam Blaze, for Latif Mustafa, for McKenna Machino, and for Rick Dunkel. My name is Caden Colford saying thank you for tuning in to Last Call. Come back next semester where me and Jake will be on the desk once again with Freddy Hawthorne to break it all down on UINDY TV.